So it's been a while. I think this is episode 7 of the Kickflip vlogs, and yeah, there's a reason why there's been a long gap. The first part was I shot one of the vlogs halfway between shoots, and I don't shoot these vlogs in the same frame rate or same quality as the movie, but I shoot them with the same camera. So I shot that vlog, and then we were shooting some B-roll, some other stuff, and it turned out that whilst we did change the frame rate settings, we didn't change the bit rate settings for like half the footage we shot, which doesn't make that big a difference, but it got me a bit paranoid. So I thought, okay, I think I'll just not shoot any vlogs until we're done with most of the principal photography. And then what happened there was right after we finished shooting, I'd given myself about 2.5 weeks to finish syncing up all the footage that I had to audio, making the 1080 proxies of the 4K footage we had, and then start editing. The tricky part with that is we ran into some technical difficulties whilst I was doing the syncing. What happened was there's basically like an idea of the workflow. I took in all the footages, compared that with the log sheets of what takes a good, what takes a bad. So I only made proxies of the good takes. If I really don't like the takes, then I'll go back and see the bad takes. But we make proxies of the good takes, and because Vegas is one of the few video editing softwares where you can move audio not by frames, like you can move them by the millisecond as opposed to by frames. Premiere, you kind of have to move the audio by frames. So when you're recording on a separate recorder, if you don't have like a sync lock or anything like that, things get tricky. That's why I was editing the proxies and picking out my favorite takes and then singing the audio in Vegas, because that way I know for a fact it's going to be in sync, and it'll be easy to export, as what I thought. First problem we ran into was, for some reason, the files that I was exporting, because our proxies were in city form, that way we can still use them to make the DCP if we feel like it, if the proxy holds up and we don't have to use the actual 4K for the final output. So first the video would transfer, but all the audio that I'd sync wouldn't appear. There'd be no audio whatsoever. And that was very annoying, very frustrating. And that's when we found out that, due to back in the, I can't remember, it was a year back or maybe 2 years back, quite recent, but not that recent, it was discovered that there was a major fault in QuickTime or something like that, where there was a backdoor that hackers could get into very easily. I'm not sure what it was, but there was an issue with QuickTime which made everyone have to change to a latest update or whatever. And apparently what Adobe did was go, okay, we're going to make all our codecs ourselves as opposed to trusting third-party plugins. That's from what I understand of what happened, which is all great for Adobe, but what that did was the Cineform codecs that I installed on my PC so that I could export in Vegas clashed with the internal codecs of Premiere, and that's why none of the audio is coming out. So after worrying like crazy, finally I managed to figure out okay, if I just uninstall all the Cineform codecs, then it will be able to read and render Cineform in Adobe, which is fucking stupid. But that's how it is. So now I can use Cineform on everything Adobe, and I can't use Cineform anywhere else. I can't use it on Vegas, can't use it on other software. Really annoying, what the fuck, Adobe? So that was the first hurdle. Second hurdle was my hard drive died halfway through the syncing, and I actually lost 2 days of footage, 2 days of synced rendered out footage. And by the time I fixed all that, that time got taken up, unfortunately, and I had to concentrate on paying jobs, some of them fucking annoying, some of them really cool. So there was one day that I did manage to find this window of no one's gonna bug me on this day, and I edited the first 30 minutes of the film. So, managed to cut the first half out of the film, and then had to be stuck with a lot of work stuff and other stuff not related to the movie since then. So one of my aims was to try and get this movie into South by Southwest. I've definitely missed the deadline for that. I'm pretty sure I've missed the late deadline too, so that train has sailed. And also, the annoying thing about having to take that break, see, I've never had to take that long a break from shooting to editing one of my own movies. So this break it killed my momentum quite a bit. Like, you're from that month and a half of just like on a high, we're shooting stuff, and then I'm seeing the footage, so I'm looking at the footage every day, and then we continue shooting and trying to organize the different days to shoot, and everything is very like on set where I couldn't have asked for a more wonderful crew. I'm pretty sure I said that already, but I'm gonna say it again. The crew was awesome, the cast was awesome, and because of that, like, there's this great momentum and a lot of positive energy pushing things forward. So whatever worries I had before, as we continue shooting, like, those worries were disappearing because I was feeling more and more confident with the movie as we continued. So taking this long a break from it and losing all the momentum that I had on making the movie, yeah, that allowed a lot of the negativity to seep in. And I'm pretty sure those who've been watching this have seen my other vlogs, and especially the one I've talked about depression. So that shit doesn't help when you have those kinds of emotional issues. I actually found myself at a certain point questioning everything I've been doing, because you've got that long to step back from it and you're not surrounded by the positivity and the positive energy of working on the film and making it. So when you stop, you let a lot of self-doubt in, and doubt is a motherfucker. So, and during that period as well, like, social media wasn't fun because I find myself getting very jealous looking at social media, looking at my other peers and, other people that I know in my industry with similar backgrounds. Some with the same experience, some with more experience, some with less, but regardless, seeing these people moving forward with their projects, I don't want to feel jealousy about it. I can't help it. I don't think anyone can help it when they feel that little pang of jealousy when they see someone else doing what you would perceive to be better than what you're doing. And it takes a lot to get over the emotional bullshit and recognize that they probably went through the same bullshit and hell and self-doubt that you're going through right now. So it was difficult to go through that, and because of that, because of feeling like that, I'd stay away from recording the vlog because I wasn't sure what to say. Like, there's a lot of stuff I do want to talk about, like, I want to bring you guys into the process of that whole editing workflow, but more in depth, and talk a bit more about how the editing is going and the visuals and how the days went on the shoots. But, you just sapped of all that positive energy. So, that's been tough for getting back up on my ass and not being such a little emo whiny bitch and actually just doing the work. It's very strange for me because my previous movies, I knew how to detach myself. I just automatically detached myself from the material, even though I'm acting in it and I wrote it and all that stuff. I don't know why, but it was a little bit easier to detach myself. There is a separation of me as an editor and me as the artist, filmmaker, director, whatever. So this one, it's weird. There's a lot more, I guess, more attachment to it, or, less confidence, or it's this underlying feeling that I've got a lot riding on this movie, which, if you break it down, I've got, one could argue I don't. These are all self-perceptions, things that we perceive, but that's how it's been feeling. So why have I recorded another episode? Because today something helped to get me back on the right frame of mind. And that was my producer, Samad, who I haven't seen for a while. Now, the reason I haven't seen my producer for a while, because just like I had a whole bunch of jobs that I had to do, he did too. He was producing a TV series. So I hadn't really been talking to him about the movie or going through any of the footage since like a week or two after we wrapped principal photography. So he came over today to check out the first 30 minutes of the film. And thankfully he seemed to kind of dig it. You know, because I couldn't see what I had anymore. You know, when you have like the positive and the negative and all that shit just fucking with your brain, and you're so attached to the material, you can't tell whether or not you've got something. So I didn't know if I had a movie. I really didn't. You know, I was just like watching what I'd edited, like, does this work? Doesn't it work? I couldn't objectively judge it, which is very weird. So it was good to have his viewpoint on it, you know? Like, I tried to make sure, you know, as much as I could, that he's not fucking with me and that he actually enjoyed what he was watching. And I think I believe him, so that's good. Well, yeah, that helped because, you know, he managed to show me, okay, overall, he really enjoyed it. These bits work, these bits, this is where the story really starts. If this is this, and da-da-da. We talked about the visuals a bit, the soundtrack, the pacing of the first 30 minutes. But overall, he's really digging it. And I think that's what's been missing for the past month or so, is that I haven't been working with my team on the movie itself. So yeah, Samad came in and saved my day. Like, for reals, my producer came in and saved the day, because otherwise I'd still be moping and shit. But the comments that he had and the points that he made about the movie and where he can see the movie going, that really helped in reinforcing that, okay, this project it might have legs, you know, it could go somewhere. So I'm really grateful to him for that. Samad, if you're watching, you my man, and I'm really, really grateful for that shit. Having that encouragement from my producer was really, really helpful. I think I can see kind of now how I'm gonna edit the rest of the movie. I just need to find a nice little pocket of time. So yeah, that's the update for now. This movie's still going on, contrary to what it might seem, since the vlogs just went bop and ended. So yeah, we are continuing on with this little flick.